The hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Sometimes you reach out for the hot tag, and then you go ahead and make your own comeback. Don't do that. That's when you should quit wrestling. Cause you're better off rolling in thumbtacks. It's the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Sometimes you go over the top rope and you bang your head on the ring apron, Bob Squad. That's when you feel like a big dope. They're the worst bumps you can be taking. Oh, it's the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Now double claps. The hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Ba-da-ba-da. Hey, welcome to the hardest part of the ring. It's me, Bob. What's going on, Bob Squad, and everybody listening out to this? Everybody out in internet land. I'm not starting over. That was too much work to do the song. Thanks for listening to the intentionally worst wrestling podcast of all time. My name is Bob. Once again, we are talking about the Hulu edition. The Hulu edition with the not limited enough commercial interruptions for NXT April 13th, Tuesday, the first Tuesday NXT. How will it be different from Wednesday? I don't know. I think I watched it earlier. That would be the difference. It is unopposed. Maybe later there'll be some ratings. And we will see how much AEW's numbers change. My prediction? None. There will be no change. The same people will watch AEW. The same people will watch NXT. It won't be a whole lot, if any, change. So, because if you're that hardcore of a wrestling fan where you watch both, you're watching one and DVRing the other, or DVRing both anyway. Like, who? This is why it was never a war. It was preposterous. It was a war for people's time. It wasn't a war. It was a war for people's collective time, and not a war for a specific, what are they doing from 8 to 10 on Wednesday. That was never a war for their Wednesday 8 p.m. I think it would be. Yeah. Would it be 5 p.m. out here? Do they air this? I don't really know. Nobody actually knows. It's not a war for what they're doing on their Wednesday night. It's a war for their collective time. Nowadays. It's not like you had to watch Raw or Nitro and flip the channels and pick one and go back and forth and drive yourself bananas and anyone trying to watch with you absolutely bananas and kick yourself when you miss something big because you got trapped in a Mike Enos match. Look it up. Don't look up Mike Enos. No, go ahead. He was a Beverly brother. He was good. E-N-O-S. Mike Enos. Not important right now. He wore leather. He was wrestling when Scott Hall debuted on Nitro and walked into the ring, and Mike Enos and somebody else just walked away. Very good. Oh, how do we open the show? I missed if Hulk Hogan slams Andre the Giant at the beginning of this, but he did in '87. They show it sometimes. Scarlett and the other guy, Karrion Kross and Scarlett, cut a promo, and this is just basically, and this is okay, I don't have a problem with it. This is a generic, hey, I'm the champ now. I like that nobody interrupted him. Nobody challenged him. And actually, it just makes it stand out. Every interview, whether it's in-ring or backstage, I'm like, well, habitually, we just kind of start looking around. Like, okay, when's the music hitting? When's someone else walking into the frame in a backstage case? Then this, yeah, the only thing puzzling to me was that, mosquito. No. Yes, I got it. I got a mosquito, guys. Yes, I hate these things. Only creatures I like killing. I found a spider in a bathroom today. I had an empty paper towel roller that I'm using for as a sewer pipe in my Son Bob G.I. Joe adventures, and I successfully, I didn't want to kill the thing. I feel bad, so I've killed bugs in my day, but for some reason I grew soft in my old age, and I don't like to kill the things if I don't really have to. So I trapped the spider inside a paper towel roller, and I just kind of ran out the door, and I let him outside into the garden area. I mean, we have little lizards here in San Diego, and they're probably going to get them, but that's nature. That's not my problem. I have no guilt over that. I like the lizards. but either way, I don't like the lizards enough to let them in my house either, so I saved the spider's life, or at least gave the spider a fighting chance to live and not be crushed by a human who is just a ridiculous mismatch, so I'll kill mosquitoes, and I'll kill roaches. Since leaving New York City, I have not seen a single goddamn cockroach. It is so nice. Or a mouse. I've not seen a mouse or a rat. Not seen a single goddamn one. What are we talking about? Scarlet and the other guy. So the only thing puzzling was it was kind of a babyface promo. Like he put over Finn Balor and like what? Huh? What happened? I mean, he said the darkness and the things. Maybe it's just too hard to boo him and they don't really know what to do. But I think that's a mistake, especially if and maybe not, maybe this won't happen now because maybe Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole are going to continue with each other. More on that later. I said more on. Yeah, who knows? But it was a little puzzling. He was just talking spooky. Why did he? What happened? What did I miss? That he's sort of a good guy now, or that he respects his opponents. That he threatened to mercilessly decapitate. I don't understand. And speaking of things I don't understand, the Midget Street Crew is here. MSK. The ring announcer welcomes Memorial Sloan Kettering, the Cancer Hospital Tag Team. MSK. And will this happen quickly? They wrestle the Drake, Maverick, and Killian Dane team. Because if you remember, and this seems like 14 years ago, last week when nights 1 and 2 of NXT kicked off WrestleMania year, Drake and Killian won a pre-show match against Fandango and Tyler Breeze. And now the Dancing Comedy team, which is a babyface team, fights the Indy-rific babyface team. Another babyface tag match. Hard to do. I think it's harder to do a face tag match than just a face match with two good guys. Two good guys versus two good guys seems to me to be even way harder to do than two faces versus each other. The reason being is that your tag match, it sucks because it's easy. They can get to be a bit more formulaic at times. Your tag match has to have that hot tag, and someone's got to take the heat. So it's really hard to have two faces double teaming one face for too long and get the audience to really solidly cheer behind one guy who desperately needs to make a tag. I mean, you need over teams. You need really over teams, and you can get away with it on Saturday night's main event in the middle of July of 1990. The Rockers and Hart Foundation, I want to say. These were two teams where everyone in that building cared about all four guys. But still, you're splitting your audience, and you have to pick one. And I think that they did a DQ with that with Demolition anyway. Demolition did not arrive in this match. Man, that would have been lovely. But they did not. Yeah. I'm liking, when Drake Maverick. I said I wasn't a fan of this version of Drake Maverick ever since he cried for getting fired and I rehired him. But still, at the same time, he was awake. He looked like the only one of the four guys who got any sleep. So he had fire, and he's always passionate. He always commits to everything he does. So you got to appreciate that. MSK does win this. I forget how they bump Killian out of the ring somehow, and I think they pin Drake. I think they do. Either way, Alexander Wolf from Imperium shows up. If you remember, 14 years ago, Wolf was in a group called Sanity with Killian Dane. I don't know if the announcers mentioned that, but they probably will. And the other two Imperium guys who were not Walter attack Killian Dane, so Imperium leaves everybody laying. Not MSK, though. I don't think they got their hands on MSK. I think Imperium and MSK is maybe the match they're going to go for. I don't know the answer. That would be a good contrast, though. We have a package, a nice big sweaty package. We haven't seen one of those in a while, bouncing off of your shoulder while you're trying to type at work. And the unsanctioned match between Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. This is cool because this package actually had footage we didn't see. They showed Cole getting into the stretcher and Shawn and Hunter around. They showed both guys on stretchers next to each other with like a metal bar between them and yelling at each other. Or actually, just Cole was yelling. He was the only one. So, Interesting how they did this. So Cole is the one said to have been more seriously injured in the match, according to this story. And the Garganos. That's my notebook. The Garganos are here and are talking to a blonde lady. This could not get any more NXT. This is as NXT gets. A blonde lady talking to the Garganos. And there's four of them. Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell and Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory. And they're going to wrestle later in the first 8-person intergender match, which will be against Bronson Reed, Dexter Lumis, and the Legion of Gimmicks. So they sell the thing that Indy Hartwell wants to have sexual relations with her genitals with Dexter Lumis for some reason. And the others, Candice LeRae and Johnny. Apparently, Candice and Johnny are her parents somehow, and they don't approve of this. It's very stupid. The Santos Escobar guy, the guy who won the ladder thing on the first night of the second night of the NXT Stand and Deliver thing 400 years ago. He does one of those open challenge promos, and then Kushida comes out, and he got his consolation prize win. Kushida wins. Kushida, after a series of roll-ups, I'm assuming there's going to be rematches because it didn't end in a finishing move. It ended in a roll-up of some sort. If you're a Danhausen fan, of some sort. Very nice, very evil. I want to get started on that. But yeah, I forget what it was. Maybe it was like an O'Connor roll or bridge or something goofy like I don't really know. Anyway, Kushida is the new 205 cruiserweight, whatever the hell it's called. He has that purple thing. Yay. What else? Did I write anything here? I can't read my writing. I hope that wasn't important. Anyway, Raquel Gonzalez. It was with Dakota Kai. And they didn't plant any seeds of Dakota and her breaking up. They didn't do any of that. Instead, they just kind of... Raquel cut a babyface promo? What is happening to our heels who just won big? Ugh. Big surprise, and I popped. I woke up, my eyeballs went, whoa, whoa, whoa. Rhea Ripley's music plays, the Raw champion. For them to send a Raw person to NXT is huge. Huge. They never send Raw down, unless it's Nia Jax, got to put her on as much bullshit as possible. But other than that, they never send a Raw superstar anywhere. Because they're Raw, they're special. So Rhea and Raquel, who when they last saw each other, Raquel was putting Rhea through the entranceway, through the steel grate, and beat her in a match that sort of sent her out of NXT. Not really, I don't know. And they hated each other. These two were supposed to have been friends years ago, and they had a violent blood feud. They just smiled and hugged, and they clinked titles like they're cheersing beverages. Because they're both champions now, so they don't still hate each other from the times they tried to end one another's careers several times, like a month ago. And Bianca Belair's music hits, and I'm a dummy because I should have seen that coming, and I didn't. And a SmackDown superstar is also huge to be on NXT. Not as huge as it is to have a Raw one, but still, I don't know why I didn't. So why didn't I think of that? I don't know why. Maybe because Raquel and Rhea already have that history. But anyway, Bianca and Rhea and Raquel all pose with their championships. Where did Dakota go during this? Maybe she was definitely out of frame. She was off camera. Did they show her leaving and going to the back? I don't think they did. But that's good fuel for later, for her to cut a promo and say, "Hey, I had to watch the three of you. I had to stand there a few feet away like a dummy and watch the three of you have that moment. It should have been mine." Blah 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 blah. That's always something they can use later. So the three of them hug and clink titles, and everyone's best friends. Why? Why would just because they all came from NXT recently? So what? Those are singles championships. I don't get it. They collectively beat Asuka, Sasha Banks, and Io Shirai. Who I don't know what they're going to do with Io Shirai. Yeah, this is confusing. Oh, you know what I'm completely overlooking? Before Rhea and Bianca show up, a debuting female wrestler, Frankie Monet, with a little dog. Apparently, I forget this woman's name. It starts with a T. I think she was an Impact for a bit or something. She had like a character and she said bougie a lot, which kind of kills that Aaliyah's thing. She's on a show sometimes. Sometimes she'll have her lose, and she has the manager with no socks. It's not important right now. So I don't know why everybody's friends, and I don't know why the dog is a good gimmick though, because the baby face is never gonna hit the heel while she's holding an animal. So that's actually kind of cool. The rest of, I mean, I'm neutral on the rest of her performance. I didn't know what they were trying to get across, and I don't think the 12 people they have cheering and starting chants knew who she was too much, or they didn't get paid enough to react crazily. After this whole segment, we see a promo for Sarai. Sarai is coming next week. I'm sorry I pronounced Sarai wrong. All I can do is say I'm Sarai, and I'll try to do better next time. And I'm also sorry to see Roderick Strong go, because in the next segment, William Regal is talking to a blonde lady. Of course he is. Then he excuses himself. And Roderick Strong is there with Maria Shafir. And Roderick Strong, he quits. He just quietly tenders his resignation. And Regal says, hey, we had hard times when you were in the Undisputed Era, but you're welcome back anytime. You're a hell of a superstar. They didn't make it clear if Marina's leaving as well, but we haven't seen her on TV in forever. But that was confusing. We have a package on Walter and Ciampa. What a match they had. I don't want to go on about a match I already talked about, but God, that was tremendous. That's worth going back and rewatching. We get to our main event. Bronson Reed, Dexter Lumis, and a legion of gimmicks. The LOG 3000 fights the way. I don't know what happened here. I had a lot of rethinking of my life to do here. So this is what happened today. I was up till 3:30. I'll get to the match. I was up till 3:30 in the morning last night. Taking pictures and editing a big battle scene for my G.I. Joe, my Son Bob adventure. Not coming out this weekend for sure. I don't even know about next weekend, but I'm working on it. It's elaborate, but anyway, there's a lot going on. And all the scenes are very short, and I made everything as short and complex as I humanly could to make things as difficult on myself as I could. But I want to give you guys a good G.I. Joe cartoon. Why the hell not? I like doing it. So I get a call, wakes me up 5:30 in the morning. My new job is supposed to start next Monday the 19th. So I get a call at 8:30 from the goddamn temp agency saying, hey, would you mind going in today, just picking up your equipment, and then you'll start tomorrow? I said, fine. Still gives me a day to collect myself and everything else. And then I get another call like an hour later. Hey, actually, there's been miscommunication. They want you to start today. Son of a bitch. I've got no sleep. I'm totally out of it. So I have to drive up to this place. It's not far away, but whatever. Wait around for 2 hours. When you're new at any job, most of your day is waiting for someone else to finally decide you're worth getting around to. You are always the least important part of their day. So I'm there for 2 hours. They give me a laptop and a monitor and a headset and all this crap. Take it home, and I got to do the training videos. I have watched the same sexual harassment training video. It's an hour long. 3 times in the last month. I know the characters. Like, damn it, Nate, Jennifer wants to be called Jennifer and not Craig. We've been over this twice in March and once in April. What is the problem? But you have to keep redoing it for some reason. When you get hired, you do it for the temp agency, you do theirs, and then the actual companies, and then the company has a first day and initiation thing, and you got to do it all again for no one knows why. And it's a financial company, but I don't work in finance. I'm like entry-level IT help desk, so I have nothing to do with finances. So I have to watch all these videos on insider trading, which is hilarious. I don't know what it is. It's really stupid. So I couldn't get any sleep. So by the time I try to take my nap while I'm watching this, and the main event helped. Now it's 5:30 in the afternoon, and I don't know why I can't sleep and I can't move. I'm the worst kind of tired. I don't know what to do. Eventually, I got 10 minutes of sleep. I took a walk outside, went to Target to buy food for tomorrow, came back, Did a workout, took a shower, and started this podcast. And here we are at 10:30 at night my time. I gotta go to bed soon because the damn training. The job is 8 to 5, but the 2 weeks of training they didn't tell me. And again, I wouldn't mind if they told me this, but when you're part of it, when you work through an agency, no one tells you anything. The agency doesn't know or doesn't care. They just want to get their number in to say they got you a job. And a company thinks the agency is telling you this. Because the company's probably telling the agency, and the agency's going, yeah. We got one. Move on. The training starts at 6:15 in the morning. So at 6 o'clock in a.m., I got to log in, which means I should really be up at 5. Like, you can't just wake up and start. I have no idea if the cameras and microphones are going to be on. I don't mind the mic being on, and I can mute it if there's noise from the neighbors or outside or whatever. I'm nervous. I'm just nervous about this. So much. The changes. We've all gone through changes in the last year. Jesus. I've gone from New York to New Jersey for 6 weeks, drove across the country in a pandemic, drove from Jersey to South Carolina for 17 hours in a hurricane. I'm losing my voice. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. I got to get a few hours of sleep. I can get a good 5 in, at least 5. I could get 6 in. If I go to bed 11, I could do this. I'll finish recording this and I'll upload it, and then that'll be that. I'll try to get some shut-eye. Maybe I'll have some Oreos. That sounds nice. I like double stuff. You like double stuff? Double stuff's good. Bronson Reed. The good guys win. There's a bunch of preposterous spots, and I don't mind the women doing stuff to the men, but Indy Hartwell tosses Austin Theory over the top rope with a one arm. I don't mean to sound like my favorite guy, Cornette. Jim Cornette's my favorite. But come on now. He literally is twice her weight. It's kind of silly, and that wasn't the only silly thing they did in there. Everyone did dives on each other, but they had to be very careful that the men didn't do any moves to the women. The men could do men to the... Like the... how do I put this? Like the heel women can do something to the men to face the babyface men, and then turn around, and the babyface can look mad but can't do anything about it. And the babyface women can do moves to the heel guys, and that's fine and that's fun. And then the heels can look like they're about to do something about it, which they shouldn't, but they can look like they're about to, but then the faces stop them. But I just remember that one move in particular, Indy Hartwell, one arm, just tossing Austin Theory. So it's getting preposterous because Indy Hartwell, okay, they sell the thing. She wants to have sexual relations with their privates and the nudity and the thrusting and the climax for at least one of them. I won't tell you which one. With Dexter Lumis. Okay, fine, but twice she does this gimmick where she lays down unconscious next to Loomis as he's beating up Theory, I think. Like she wants to be revived or resuscitated or receive mouth to mouth or whatever. So eventually, Loomis, after staring at her, not knowing what a human woman looks like, he picks her up in his arms, like a honeymoon style, and then she wakes up and winks right at the camera with a thumbs up, like she's tricked him and she's gonna have sex with this man. So now we have a male face, Bronson Reed, and the Legion of Gimmicks, versus Gargano and Candice and Austin Theory, who's been thrown out of the ring by a woman half his side who's on his team. Hold on. And then they hit way too many finishes on... I'm sure they pinned Theory. I'm not going to look it up. I'm sure they pinned Theory, and Gargano is playing his heel role, and he says the phrase "cuckoo bananas" way too many times. That's how you know it's him. Yikes. I don't know, guys. Bronson was good in this, but he looked like an idiot being involved in it. He at least stayed true to who Bronson was. So that was good. Candice was great in this. She's always... she's really... I like her stuff. And again, I would say this last 6 months more than the last couple of years. But the rest I could do without. I don't know where all this is going. They already had Gargano beat Bronson at the Stand and Deliver, so if they think they're giving Bronson his win back to keep him, it's not helping. He's just on TV with foolishness, and the story of the match is the stupid Loomis Indy Hartwell thing. Just like anyone who can say, look, Lana beat Nia, she beat Nia in whatever it was, the last woman standing match, or whatever the hell. Yeah, The story was Nia purposely yelling my hole so we can all get it trending and all this bullshit. And have everyone say that and put the attention back on her. And so that when she jobs, she does it in comical, look how fake this is fashion. I know she doesn't act that way when she wins, that's for goddamn sure. So um, that's not the story of the match, so it really doesn't matter that Lana beat Nia. It doesn't matter that Bronson, even if Bronson pinned Gargano in this, and I don't think he did, even if he did, who cares? That's not the story of the match. It's the antics and wacky games. It was just a bit too much for me. I don't know, but they're unopposed on Tuesdays. They were unopposed anyway. Everyone's unopposed. We can watch anything whenever we want. I watch this shit like a day, 12 hours later on Hulu. So, and I don't know how my new job is going to affect that in a way. If anything, I mean, if it comes out later, it comes out later. But I'll keep it going. But I'm still out there. Still out there, Bob Squad. I got to get some shut eye for tomorrow. A couple of you, I think I'll be joining over the weekend on various video chats on various platforms, if you will. Thankfully, since Stand and Deliver and WrestleMania are over, all the big bumps have been taken, and no one went over the top rope and picked each other up and got dumped on the ring apron, which is the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Sometimes you go over the top rope and you bang your head on the ring apron. Don't do that. That's when you feel like a big dope. They're the worst bumps you can be taking. Whoa, it's the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Sometimes you reach out for the hot tag, and you go ahead and make your own comeback. That's when you should quit wrestling, and you're better off rolling in thumbtacks. AEW, the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Now double claps. The hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Ba-da-ba-da.